All right, cool.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 258 of the official podcast. Many people say this is the longest running podcast show that should have ended after 10 episodes, but here we are. We're still going, and we're not listening to those kinds of criticisms anymore. We're going to keep going. We're shooting for the moon. Episode 500, here we come. With me, I have Andrew, Charlie, and Kaya, the usual other people of this podcast that you've seen 258 other times. Joined with us this week, we have special guests Adam, Kovic, and Aaron Marquis. How's it going, boys?
Hey, going
Hello.
well. Really great. Yeah, we look tired, but we're not. It's just because we went to Worst Fest yesterday, which is like Oktoberfest, but not.
We met up with my grandma to drink beer, is essentially what happened.
That's a true story.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
Did she drink you under the table?
No, the thing is she doesn't drink, so it's a weird power dynamic.
She did make her grandson get a deep fried Oreo, but she ate like 3 in front of us.
She says, I don't want any. And then she eats all 3 of them. She goes, I gotta go. Like she left immediately after that. She's a manipulative little woman is what she is.
Did you pay for her tickets to get in just to eat those Oreos?
No, but we paid for all the other.
Well, and then the way they do it too is they go like, you can't just buy things. You have to buy drink tickets. But it's like Disney bucks where it's all over the place.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, how many tickets you want? I'm like, I don't know, 100. Like, that's $100. Like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then Aaron runs up and goes, we need more tickets.
I got 2 big beer steins. And I go, we need more. And then we ended up having 100 extra tickets that you can't redeem.
Yeah.
So you're just stuck with worthless $100 tickets.
When you leave, can you convert them back into either like real life currency or Disney bucks?
No, you find the old guy in the back of the line who's nice enough to talk to a lovely young woman and go, yeah, I'll give you $27.
Yeah, I mean, we took a loss, but at least we got some of the money back.
Yeah, some.
Good lord. Drank it too.
What did you say, Kai?
Oh, I said you should just drank the rest of your tickets too.
Could have just eaten them. That would have been better.
Could have served as good toilet paper this morning, but we got plenty of copies of our book for that. Oh wait, it's actually holding up the laptop we're using to record right now.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of that.
All right, so yeah, I guess that's a good, segue into what do you guys know? What do you guys do to talk about their book?
Yeah.
No, wait, I wasn't going to talk about that book just yet. I was going to ask them what they do so that the audience knows who they are. Like, who are you guys? Who is Adam Kovic and who is Aaron Marquis? Give us a short little summary.
I am. We are 2 parts of a company called Null and Void. We have a long, storied history of making internet videos, but not writing books, and we're trying to do both.
Yeah.
And now Aaron will go.
Yeah. I had a huge fame with a former internet company with over thousands of videos and thousands of views. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it's true.
Never looked.
I've never watched any of it, so I don't know. But yeah, and I met Adam, I don't remember what street we were on in Australia when we met, but
It was nice.
Yeah.
Crikey, I don't know. Drop Bear Street, Shoey Street.
we both had the
Phelps
same
Jackson.
learning disorders and wanted to write a book together, and so that's how it happened.
Aaron and I met. We were on a work trip, but I remember we were with our significant others, and he and I had a long-running joke about the boats we were on because they're all named like Cougar 2 and
that's
Cougar
right.
3. And we had a long-running joke about how the Cougar does not allow its lover to leave after 6 p.m. or something. And it's just both of our lovely ladies were just had their heads down, like, shut the fuck, just kiss each other already.
Yeah, it was a great bromance.
Yeah.
We had a great bromance.
Yeah. So from there, we said, let's write a book.
Mhm.
And then we did. It only took 3 years, but we're here. Yeah.
Is it about
took
men
3
who
years.
fall in love with their boats?
With their bots.
Funny you mentioned that. It's not.
Oh.
We took out a letter because we couldn't spell. It was originally a boat-based book.
But you forgot the A and the rest was history.
Yeah,
A happy accident then.
Yeah.
it turned out okay.
There are no happy accidents. Only sad.
Only things you have to like figure out and work through. Like Bob Ross is full of shit.
Yeah. You pitched it to the original editor and he was like, guys, it can't just be 400 pages of you guys making out on this robot. It's not going to sell.
And then they were gonna move the plot along, but they decided to kiss on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Also, our editor, she was such a ball buster, and it was so great because like she doesn't know us, she doesn't know anything about us, or didn't rather at the time. And so we give her this thing, and she didn't hold anything back. She'd be like, this makes you look really stupid, or this sentence is absolutely wrong. And also, she's a master chess player, so she gets this book called Rook. I mean, she teaches chess and has tournaments and does all this stuff. So she gets this book called Rook, and she's like, "Oh my god, something to sink my teeth into. Finally something that deals with something I love." And then she opens it up. She's like, "What is this woman has 4 breasts in this scene? What is this?"
Kids like chess, baby.
Yeah, she didn't know the reigning chess champion for Bresta Makova. Oh my god.
You don't know the famous opening move of the forward-sided E4
Yeah,
or whatever.
the lactator's gambit. She doesn't know anything.
So she was disappointed, but she did a great job. So
Yeah. No, books are not written by 2 people. That's what I've learned. Yeah. It takes an army.
They're written by 2 people and an angry chess lady. That's the moral of the story.
And a man named Squab in Pakistan who can help edit the book in for EPUB format.
He actually translated the book into English. Whatever ramblings you guys had.
He's like, "You guys are bad at English." And we're like, "Thank you, Squab."
thank you. He's such a we paid him like $300 to typeset the book, and I'm pretty sure he retired immediately after I made the payment because he wouldn't respond to anything else. After
He's
I
the
sent
king of his
payment
village
off.
now.
Yeah.
He has conquered wherever he's from with all the American dollars we gave him. He was able to buy a Scud missile launcher.
It's like Rook is a statue in the square of his town because it allowed him to retire and pay for the new school and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What is the book about?" It's like, don't ask.
He doesn't even know. He just translated it phonetically.
He did sneak his name into the metadata I saw, and I had to take it out because it was like, "This book is owned by Squab." Like,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
What the fuck?
Holy shit.
That's a good plan. That is solid.
That's probably why he's not responding to your emails anymore. He's run
Yeah.
off.
Well, he thought he
fled.
was set, and we have to know metadata. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He's gonna
I learned how
sue
to-
you.
Yeah. in whatever desert court. I don't know where he is, but he's rich, and
absolutely.
this book helps people, and that's what I like about it. We actually just balanced our finances yesterday, and we're like, we're about even.
yeah.
Well, I helped. I picked it up this week. I'm enjoying it. I read the first, so it's broken up into logs rather than chapters, I guess. I read the first one, and I have to say I've been grinning throughout, especially through the... Actually, first, Jackson, want to tell people what the book is about? Because you're
Fuck
the one
that.
who's read it all.
We got the authors here. They should be the ones telling what it's
Jackson
about.
knows better than
No,
they do.
Jackson knows a lot about this book.
I
Jackson's
seriously,
far more
I seriously do
knowledgeable.
not want to do a disservice to this fine book.
No,
please.
no. Jackson.
Jackson hasn't read it.
Jackson, tell the authors what the book is about and have them correct you whenever you're wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so I think the book is about a small Australian boy who meets his internet hero and goes on a lifelong journey to a place in the Middle East, and then he fights a war, and it's really cool. And he gets his mind put into a robot, and then that robot like kicks ass throughout the entire story, takes names and eats ass or whatever, and then shoots a whole lot of people. And then it's like a corporate espionage thriller at the end where he's going up against the global 500 elite. And it ends in a dramatic fashion. I'm not going to spoil it, but you should really stick around to the end. You'll be, and I didn't mention this, but it's a very funny book. You'll be laughing throughout the entire novel.
I
don't know,
I
dude.
know you didn't read it.
Yeah, that's a good lie.
No, genuinely, it is a really funny book. Kaya himself, and I've never seen Kaya laugh at words, so that's a first.
That's not true.
He was laughing.
I
Shut up.
laugh
He was
all the-
laughing throughout the entire book.
He's got the cover of Rook over like a Nancy Drew novel or something. Like, oh, he's reading Rook.
He's just reading Goosebumps the whole time.
It's Mein Kampf, just cackling in the subway.
I guess fair warning though, it is I guess the compliment / complaint got from a few people like, "Oh, it's a book. there's more than 100 pages. We're like, yeah, no, we it's 425 or something.
Don't
Like,
scare the people.
I know, and it is intimidating, but everyone, like, we've had a few people read it, and like, it's weird. It's like a backhanded compliment. Like, it reads fast. And we're like a Goosebumps, and like, almost.
No, that is a compliment because there are some books where like every page you have to spend 10 fucking minutes on thinking about it. Like if you read Nietzsche, it makes you want to resurrect him just so you can like YouTube fight him and put him back in the grave. Like some authors you just fucking hate. There's just such shitty writers, but then some books you just breeze through and it's just such a pleasant experience. And this is definitely the case in your book. And at the very beginning, again, I've only been able to read one chapter so far, but I love the part about where you're basically, so the story is about this down in the dumps guy who I like to imagine as Ken Bone. That guy who was like Reddit famous for a week.
The red sweater.
Whose photo
Yeah, Kin
I also
fucking
put his-
Bone, the Bone Zone.
But yeah, he for those I put it in the chat also if you can see. Like Ken Bone, for those who might not remember, this guy was like at a town hall or something. He asked a question, and he just looked like a nice teddy bear. And he kind of got famous for it, but then people dug up his Reddit history, and apparently he had like some off-color jokes or something. Anyway, point is, that's how I imagine him, just a sweaty fat dude. And he's a simp, and I fucking love that whole segment where he's basically in VR simping for this one streamer, and he thinks he's his her wife, and then he quickly gets taken out by the Twitch moderators, of course.
He's the highest donator, so he becomes husband.
Yeah.
And
Until Hyman Pounder outbid him and became the new husband.
Hyman Poundar.
yeah, Hyman Pound, get the pronunciation.
So, my bad.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, that was the first chapter we started with, and we had this whole idea of like, oh, he's got it. When I think I originally like laid out the book for Aaron, I was like, this guy's like an ex-military dude, and he hurts his leg, and he has to like work remotely. And Aaron's like, what if he's like a simp? I was like, that's funnier. Yeah. Aaron always pulled me back and goes like, hey, you're not a good writer. You're a funny writer. So maybe work on that. And so then, yeah, I ended up being like this big allegory for Twitch of like, if I give you the most money, you can be my waifu or whatever. But like, it's funny to laugh at, but that might happen.
Well, and I mean, so in the beginning of this book, I mean, it's basically, you see this down the dumps character who is constantly getting shit on in this first log, basically. So everything is going wrong, including losing his wife, losing his job, losing all this stuff like that. And it was just funnier to draw on this, I don't know. At the time, I was seeing this woman who she made her living from simps, basically, and I didn't know what it was at first.
Yeah, this is Aaron's own. Like, I was getting Discord set up for him before this, and he was like, "Oh, I already have an account," and he's telling me the story of how he has to show his OnlyFans neighbor like how to, I don't know, like look at the people ogling over her loose photos.
There's like a 400 person Discord about this woman that she didn't even know existed, but they're so obsessed with somehow seeing her nude, which is it's insane. And she didn't know this thing existed. And I was like, I found this because she has a like a tasteful OnlyFans or something. But there's these 400 guys who are like, we have to find out where the nudes are. And so they started this whole community, and they have a leader and moderators in this thing, and like
Did she not question why you were in that community? Like why you weren't like the figurehead of this community?
I said, let me check this thing out and make sure it's
You got it nitro.
Yeah, let me have the actual nudes, so if they find them, I can compare.
Yeah, I'll keep them safe.
So I can ban people in case they post them,
I had cross-reference, but I was like, you need to see this thing exists. And, because there becomes a real thing of like, oh, is her stuff going to be illegally taken or like spread around or stuff like that? And she was like, yeah, I want to, she has a lawyer and whatever. But I showed her this thing, and she was kind of taken aback and impressed that there was a whole community that was based around like trying to figure out if, she had ever done whatever.
The quest for nips.
Yeah. And these guys, I assume this is their only job. This is how they make money. I don't know how they make money. Maybe they have sponsors in this Discord, but
Razor
That would be a
Gaming is
nice,
in there
like-
promoting.
D2A, get some nips from. I'm not gonna say her name.
But anyway, so simping, I mean, I didn't even know what it was in the beginning. I didn't know there was a term for it, but it's awesome that if you can do that, if you can tell a guy, like, you are absolutely worthless. And he's like, take $50. That is so much power. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even blame them for doing it. It's
Why
weird. The
wouldn't you?
weirdest ones are the pay pig ones,
I
right?
was just
Where
about to bring up pay pigs. I love pay piggies.
I still don't know if they're real. Like, oh, do
They
you
are.
not know them, Aaron?
What is it?
Yeah, open my world, please.
Well, it's a specific type of simp where the whole point is, what is it called? Findom?
Findom.
Financial dominance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ball stepping.
No.
No. This is more
Femdom.
pathetic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more painful too.
Oh,
Findom, Findom. So what it basically is, it's these guys saying, "Oh, I just got my paycheck, lady, mommy, leader, dear leader. So I'm gonna send you all $700 of my paycheck. I'm not gonna eat any meat today. I might get kicked out of my apartment. I'm sending you all my money." And she's basically like, "Yeah, good, you pathetic little worm. Send me more. Take out a loan."
Right? I mean, that's like the ultimate goal of findom simping or whatever. It's to become, so it needs to be a hardship for the guy or the woman or whoever it is that's giving the money. Like it needs to be all of their money, and they need to get nothing from it. That's the ultimate.
Well, that's Findom. Yeah, that's Findom. But I do think there's like a large set of people who just genuinely do want to see that woman's nudes. Like that's all they care about. There's probably, like, if they had the choice of either looking up her nudes on like Reddit or sending her money, they'd likely just go to Reddit and get it for free. I still think that exists. Yeah, but
that will always exist. There are a lot of people just used to getting free content, and so when you pay now, they go, "I don't want to buy your book." So I know that world all too well, Jackson. Thank you. I'm kidding. Actually, I do want to say I do want to do a quick thing before I forget. We are going to be able to give our first check to charity. That is not someone on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That is we're giving money to Shatterproof. So we're giving 10% of this book away for all time. And we actually, it's not a huge number, but it's like, hey, we get to write a $500 check in 60 days whenever Amazon sends us the money. But
$543.
$543.44 is exactly 10% of what we made. But
Full transparency. That's what we're.
yeah, I mean, like, we didn't write the book to get rich or anything, but it was that was something that was really. I haven't actually looked at any of the numbers really like that closely until I got here and started hanging out with Aaron in Austin. But yeah, I'm before I forget, because my brain, we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about simping and everything
Yeah.
else. It's like, oh yeah, this addiction nonprofit.
Yeah.
That we're.
I have this checklist here. If I don't get to it, I will lose sleep. So anyway, now we talked about that. We don't have to talk about it ever again.
I just want to see Shatterproof going like, how do we block these guys from ever mentioning us ever again?
This absolves us.
We are free.
Anyway,
no, it's an awesome thing. You
Oh,
guys
that's
do.
really nice of you.
While you guys
Yeah.
organize what you have to talk about, we could talk about honey.
Go for it,
Okay,
Andrew.
tell me about honey.
Sure. Well, I mean, today's episode is sponsored by Honey. We all shop online. We've all seen the promo code field just sitting there, blank, empty, expressionless, looking you dead in the eyes and saying, yeah, type something in me. Do it. Put something in there. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? You're not a global repository for internet coupons? You don't have a code? No one's given you a discount code that you memorized? Well, fuck you then. Well, hey, in that case, just use Honey. It's a free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one right to your cart. They support over 30,000 stores online, from tech to gaming to fashion to food delivery. All you have to do is shop online like you normally would, and the little drop down for Honey will have a button that says apply coupons. Wait a bit, and that's all it takes. The official boys all use Honey. I have been buying little tech bits here and there to replace stuff I've used, like flash drives and adapters and shit. I've saved a good chunk of money on it because I don't do anything. I just put it in my cart and then go, oh, hey, yeah, the little Bluetooth dongle, $10 off. All right, works for me. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It is literally free and installs in a few seconds. By getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting the podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/official. That's joinhoney.com/official. There might even one day be a coupon code for Rook in Honey's database. Who knows?
Only legitimate products like flash drives and vibrating things.
Yeah. Vibrating cock ring.
Yeah, no books. Got it. Just kidding. Honey supports books. I don't know if I can say that.
Probably. I give
It probably
a try.
does. 30,000 stores online. Honey, joinhoney.com/official.
Thank you, honey. I'm talking to Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, baby.
Oh, they're back to the boat book.
Boat book will never be finished.
Yeah. It's an ongoing story.
Because
I
they
don't
keep
know
blowing
if-
their load before they write a page.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I myself am actually an acclaimed writer. You're probably familiar with my work. Have you ever heard of the Moon Ninja series, Adam or Aaron?
I have. I've been reading it since you started it in the 5th grade. I think it's fantastic.
Now, is there any chance that you were perhaps inspired by the Moon Ninja arcs for your book?
Yeah, I mean, we knew exactly what we would not want to do in writing. We basically modeled exactly the opposite.
Yeah, we said every other page started with the Moon Ninjas then did this, but we had to delete it because we knew you would stew us into a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of my signature writing styles. What about Nutty Noodle Man? Is there any Nutty Noodle Man inspiration in the pages, perhaps?
Well, his father, I guess, is
Loosely based
Shows
on
that,
Nutty
yeah.
Noodle Man, yeah.
Rocky Pasta Varian.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, yeah, because in this future, all countries kind of blend together. So Nutty Noodleman, did I say that right? Nutty Noodleman would be, I guess, probably from like whatever is left of Rhode Island. So yeah, that's probably where his dad would be from.
It's good to see that my writing was able to inspire a whole new generation of literature enthusiasts. That's wonderful.
Definitely, the parental neglect was a huge inspiration from your early writings that you may or may not remember, or may have copywritten. I'm not sure. You do have to do that, by the way. You have to pay the government money to say, "Don't steal my book,"
Or else it's ours.
Squab is just.
We're gonna build a new high school.
Oh, that fucker. So how come a book? Like, did you guys specifically want
what's
to write
wrong
a book,
with
or
you?
did you like toss
I
around?
know, right? Yeah.
Jesus. God, that could have been anything else.
Because you're two video guys, and to be fair, like, you know, people who are fans of YouTube generally have the attention span of like 30 seconds or so. Like, there's
But
no
wait a
smash
second,
cuts in this
Aaron.
book. There's nothing. It's very difficult for.
Kaya, you were saying that in the same
quite
call as
bold.
the man who wrote Nutty Noodle Man.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
disrespectful.
Jesus Christ.
Good lord.
Fucked up.
No, I mean, I had this idea a long time. I've always wanted to write something, and I knew writing a book is just, it's the great American dream, which is, it's a dream because it will never make you money. So it was, I don't know, like I had this real basic idea where I was like, oh, that seems kind of cool. It seems like it could be like a Neil Blomkamp movie or something. But Aaron said it really well, where he's like, it's, when you do a book, it's complete. You don't have to wait for someone else to produce it. It doesn't have to be, it's like, it's there. Everything's there. It's done. And it'll live on past us. It'll just be there. And you can just say, hey, I finished a book. So it isn't really like a career pivot or anything. Like, this is what I do now. I hope I can continue writing and doing stuff like that. But I think it was just a cool story, and it was really fun to collaborate with Aaron and make something that makes us laugh. So.
Well, also, like, at least on your side, you were always making videos where the timelines were really tight, like, and they had to be, I mean, you just had to get them out a lot of times, and they're great. And then, but it's also, it's like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And you can't, necessarily sit with something and tell a story and, do all this stuff. And yeah, so, I mean, it was kind of a different, you allowed us to breathe, I guess.
Yeah, and also it's a lot of subconscious therapeutic.
This book's just a therapy book.
Yeah, you look into it, it's like we never get into anything too specific, but people close to me have read it and they're like, oh my god, like I have an idea of what you were going through when you wrote this. I mean, Aaron's full on just told me, he's like, well, I was dating this woman at this time. I was dating this
Well,
woman.
my grandma's been reading it, and she goes, I see you mentioned your grandpa in the 3rd chapter. It's like, you can't, no suing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's I don't know, where were we? Yeah.
Oh, I was just, there's I don't know, there's some themes in there that I think we accidentally stumbled upon just because Aaron and I, through talking, found out we have kind of similar childhoods of I don't know. There's this like parental need and want, and having kind of like an estranged brother, but not really. But like playing, none of this is one to one. But it's like, hey, these are some kind of heavy themes I do want to explore that I've talked in therapy and I've worked on. But like,
There's great daddy issues. There's great mommy issues. There's any issues. If you have an issue, you will find your issue in this book. So that's a personal appeal to anyone reading it.
It's like a fine Waldo of issues. I like that.
It's a bingo card that comes with the book. That you just...
And then the other part too. I mean, obviously, I tried writing it myself, and I knew Aaron was a great writer.
You tried to steal the idea from Aaron? Like you just took it and started writing it on your own first?
Yeah. Well, he gave me $200, and I said, I'll write you a book, man.
I know a guy named Squab.
Yeah.
Half of it.
Between you and Squab.
No, I had tried writing it on my own, and then I was in town one time, and I called up Aaron, and just like over a couple beers, a lot of beers,
And deviled eggs.
Yeah, I kind of pitched him the idea, and like, thank God he stuck with it and was like, yeah, this sounds exciting. Let's work on this thing. I just want to bring this one part up too. Aaron had started a charity a few years ago. I remember it was called, I don't know if you want to tell this story.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'll say it from my perspective. But Aaron had tried to do a charity, which I thought was a really awesome, ambitious thing to do, and got hacked.
It was a massive failure.
Yeah, like within the first day, the whole website got brought down, and it was such a bummer to see that happen.
Yeah, it was a slight bummer. Password 000 is not the password you should use.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. What was the web service I was using?
WordPress.
Yeah, WordPress. I guess is not current.
Not for 2019 or whenever.
Yeah.
You tried, but either way,
Nope.
from the very beginning, we were both on the same page of whatever this book does, let's have a charity aspect.
Yeah, let's do some good with. I mean, because it's one, we're getting to write something that we want to write, and two, if it can do something for someone else, why not? And
Yeah, and I didn't want to give up on that, because I was inspired that Aaron was trying to do something good, and working in the YouTube world, I've always I've only taken, I've never really given anything. I felt like I didn't really feel like I was able to do anything with that much substance. Kind of like what you're talking about, like you're on this treadmill and you're just making stuff over and over. It's like, well, at least this book there's only a few corporate sponsors in it that I need to appease.
Can't wait for the people who are going to sue us for this book. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk,
Yeah, Steve Jobs is in there somewhere.
Olive Garden's going to sue us.
But then all this Metaverse stuff started happening with Zuckerberg, and we're like, fuck.
Yeah.
We didn't include Zuck.
Well, he's going to be in the next one.
Yeah,
That fucker.
next one.
Yeah.
It was almost like Zuckerberg read like an early copy of the book and took the ideas on board and decided that's where his company should pivot from now
The
on.
book was called Snow Crash, and it has a woman with a vagina entata, who I think there's an underage sex scene in that book. I forget. It's got some controversy behind it. But anyway,
If you want to see what the metaverse is going to look like, read Rook and the chaos of not knowing what's reality and what's fake, and then also having like a Chuck Norris-esque sidekick that guides you through it. You'll know what we're in for, and it's awful. It's going to be so shitty.
did you grow up in the 90s and understand half our references? Good luck.
I guess I should be more specific.
It's fine.
It is a very, very dystopian aspect in it, where like the character gets fucking not sued, but fired from his company for accidentally inhaling gas and shitting himself, and then he gets all these fucking advertising. It is, yeah. Unfortunately, I do think that's very realistic. And at some point, his ad block fails because he couldn't renew his subscription payments. Fuck.
Well, when he's trying to get his brain surgery, and he can't get through the ads, it's a problem. The doctor's like, well, we're trying to help you, but he keeps getting ads for cruise lines and everything else, and affecting his ability for his brain to be saved.
Yeah, I think it's where we're headed. But yeah, I don't know. It's how we kind of started this whole thing. We're like, the future is going to be awesome, but it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome. But there's just going to be parts that are real. It's, what we always say that, what's the extreme version of today?
I really don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a gigantic virtual prison, but at the same time, it's like Facebook product, right? Metaverse. So it's gonna be, I don't know, like a boomer RuneScape almost. Can you imagine your grandma just in the metaverse? What are they gonna do?
Well, they're gonna have some avatar. She's gonna have some avatar. If it's my grandma who we were with yesterday, she's gonna have an avatar with a huge beer stein and constantly be shoving like, crazy conspiracy things down her throat. But you can't escape it because she's able to buy the better avatar, and we have the cheap version, so she can just crush us whenever she wants. Like, that's what it's going to be. It's like, if you have the most money, you're a boomer in the metaverse, you get the big armor and all of this stuff, and you can just destroy all of these, all the libs and whoever else you want to take out.
Well, now I'm excited, actually. Speaking of the metaverse, have any of you watched the announcement with Zuckerberg? I still don't know to this day why that company... Why do they trot out that lizard? Like, nobody likes Zuckerberg. Nobody across the political spectrum. Like, the left doesn't like him because they fucking don't censor the website enough. The right doesn't like him because they think he's a shape-shifting lizard, which fair enough just by looking at him. So it has to be just his ego, right? He has to, like, the board of directors must be so pissed off at him, like, I'm gonna do the announcement, guys.
Well, did you see his avatar? His avatar looks so fucking punchable. Yeah. I just wanted to kick his avatar's ass.
Just buy hair.
It's punchable.
Musk did it. Like, his hair is just trying to escape his body because, it's you can see the robo skeleton trying to get out every time he talks. But yeah, it was just like, here's my fuck doll that I'm gonna fuck in the future. It looks like me. His wife's off to the side crying. Just like, I think stock options has a lot to do with it. I think he is a majority stakeholder right now.
Well, it's like he wants to be Steve Jobs, but he has more of a I don't know, rapey vibe than
He
Steve.
has no charisma. He's just as wooden as can be.
He's definitely, you can tell he's taking those classes of like how to talk to humans, and he's like he takes very detailed notes, and that's like you see his when you see him at like the press conferences and stuff, when he's like, smile, drink water, don't look weird. And it's like, you look weird because you're trying not to look weird.
I just love that his coach for that has to tell him, like, this is what you say to Congress, and this is how you say it to Congress, and he's like, yes,
noted, downloaded to brain and saved. Like, don't talk like that.
Smile strangely.
Yeah, I still love the gif of him smiling artificially in the court hearing, where just like it looks like someone photoshopped it. Yeah, it's great. What about his wife though? Is she human? Like, how does he end up with a woman?
I don't know. Does she exist?
She's that famous singer, right? Hitsune Miku or whatever. She's like, or she's on that.
Hatsune Miku.
She looks human.
It's a Vocaloid or whatever that he invented.
Aww.
Maybe she only exists in the metaverse.
He seems genuinely in love with her in this one photo I found. He's like smiling at her like a little child at his prom date or something. Hang on, the photo is uploading.
What kind of socks do you think Mark Zuckerberg wears during sex?
I don't know.
What kind of sheet does he do it to?
I could tell
Do
you
you think
what
he has
kind
like
of
sunscreen on?
I could tell you what kind of personal shaving razor that he uses.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet good money that Mark Zuckerberg would use Manscaped because it is the leading men's hygiene brand. Manscaped just launched new products, including their all-new ultra premium body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Time to give yourself or someone who needs it, or even someone who doesn't need it, give anybody the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Manscaped now has the Performance Package 4.0, which includes the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant, moisturizer, and toner. You're also going to be able to find the signature Lawnmower 4.0, an electric trimmer that has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to reduce cuts on your nuts. This branding is absolutely incredible. Anyhow, if you want to get 20% off and free shipping with Manscaped, well, you can use code OFFICIAL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using code OFFICIAL. You can clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year, because Santa in this reality is apparently your lover, which is just how Christmas should be celebrated. But you can check out their Performance Package 4.0. You can check out their new 2-in-1 conditioner shampoo, and you can get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com and using code official.
There you go,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
There's a gift idea for your grandmother.
I'm waiting
Get
for
the-
the one. She needs the one that sprays out the dye when she's shaving. So it's like you shave the pubes and then it sprays out the little, so it takes away the silver.
No, I don't know.
Oh, is that something I just made up now? Well, anyway, that's what the new Manscaped needs to be.
Right.
It needs to shoot out the hair dye.
The pube scraper.
while it's trimming.
Yeah, it does read like a Dr. Seuss book sometimes, and it's like, cut the. Oh yeah, I don't know. There's good rhyming in there.
Now we're trying to think of Dr. Seuss rhymes and failing.
Yeah, cut and but he was better.
Greatest thoughts.
He was great.
Did you guys ever have any fights? Did it get petty during the writing of this book? Like, you never write on Thursdays. It's always me. I wrote 2,000 words yesterday.
No, Aaron's
Never
more
happened.
of the dom, so I would just take it. Yeah.
You make me sound so mean, and I think I might be because of you described the text. And I'd be like, it wasn't like that, and then I look back at the text. And I'm like, that was I was being an asshole.
Aaron is
Abusive.
no, he
But thank you.
Pathetic.
yeah. He's supportive
Codependent.
yet passive aggressive.
Well, I like playing mind games to bring out your best.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, this is good for like a fourth grader.
I was like, I think if this is the best you can write, I think we should go with it. If this is the best you think you can write.
If you like typos and failure, he got to the core of my like parental neglect of like, I'm going to be the father you wish you didn't have.
yeah, once I figured out the dad issue stuff, I'm use that to make a great book out of it.
I want to make you proud.
Yeah.
Over the phone. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, it was a overall, like, I mean, obviously there's some like ups and downs here and there, but like it never got to the point where I think any of us was like, fuck you. Like we never got angry. It was just, I don't know, realistically down on ourselves.
If you see like, so, at the end of each log, there's like that QR code you can scan and see the podcast for the log. If you watch those logs, you see exactly what our dynamic is during writing. There's no room for us being like mad or pissed off at each other because it's just there's filled with so much rambling about the future and 90s movies and like how the Phantom is really like a gay superhero movie and all this stuff.
Yes, the film. If you guys don't know, Billy Zane made a failed superhero trilogy. They only made one. It's called The Phantom. It's a man in his purple underwear. But the entire thing is an allegory for him living. I can hear you looking it up. Yeah. The entire thing is an allegory about a man trapped in the 1920s, 30s of like, he is a gay man living on an island. And he feels trapped, but he's very happy on the island where he can put on his makeup and he can dress up and
protect his jewelry.
He protects his jewelry, and then like women want him, but he like throughout the movie he's like, no, Catherine Zeta-Jones, I don't think so. I want to be a superhero. And like Aaron kind of opened my eyes to that of like, no, this is a guy who's struggling with his identity. I was like, this movie's great. It was just came out way too early.
And
Are you sure? Are you sure that it's actually got those allegories? Or are you like projecting? Are you putting yourself in that position?
Watch the movie and you tell me.
There's literally a scene.
I'm afraid of
where
what I'll awaken. I don't want to do that.
Billy Zane comes into a room in his purple costume to rescue this woman, and she goes, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "This is a rescue." And he says it just like that, and that is how a gay superhero would say it when he's not being appreciated. Yeah. And the whole movie is like that. So what I'm getting at is there's no room for strife between the two of us when we have gems like that to discuss for hours and hours.
You might be onto something too, because the tagline for this movie is "Slam Evil."
Ooh,
That's what
I didn't even notice
evil.
that.
Evil is a butt.
Yeah.
In this movie.
He's like,
Specifically a
he's
man's
like, I'm the
butt,
top
yeah.
and you're my power bottom. Yeah. There's one scene. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a great action scene where it's just his thighs. There's a great scene where bad guys like
Two bad guys
are like on a submarine like looking for him, the Phantom, and he goes hiya, and I don't know what he's holding on to, but you just see his thighs go around their neck.
It comes in at a perpendicular angle to the floor and goes between both of their necks and squeezes the life out of them.
And it's like he's
pole dancing, right? Like
he's doing gymnastics and he just kills these two dudes, all to protect his silver, gold, and jade skulls.
Right.
They're very pretty, and they shoot laser beams.
this was all cut from the podcast thing we recorded.
Yeah.
Too, but anyway.
Now you can cut it from yours.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Or we
I've
can
actually
name
heard
the
of the Phantom
episode
before.
after it.
Yeah. Did you know there was a reboot in 2010? I'm watching the trailer right now.
This is the TV show. No.
Oh, it's not good?
No, I haven't seen it, but I did look it up.
Are they gay? Do you know if there's gay themes in it?
Doubtful. They probably got rid of all the things that made the original Phantom great.
Yeah. They
But I
ditched
feel
the
like-
commentary.
I feel like now gay's in. Well, way more in than it was in the like 80s
Yeah, but
and
they'd
90s.
be over the top. The funny part is that it's like an allegory, I guess, or subtle.
Yeah, they blew
Well, it
their
doesn't-
load on that first movie.
Wink.
Much like Billy Zane did with all the no.
They can't do it.
There's a great scene at the end because his like childhood friend who they should be his love interest, they kind of kiss and he kind of looks at her like, nah.
That felt not good.
yeah, like, this isn't natural. And he's like, get off my horse, get on your plane with a hot Catherine Zeta-Jones, like late 90s.
Well, that's the thing. Catherine Zeta-Jones can't figure out why he doesn't like her, and she keeps talking about that throughout the movie. I swear to God, if you watch, she's like, I don't understand why he doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And all of us were like, we know why.
Right. In his mind, he goes, because you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
But it's like, no.
You are evil, fiend.
yeah.
It's like, nah.
because you don't have a 7-inch cock.
Yeah.
Is the Phantom one of the like longest running superheroes? Because I swear to God, I've heard him before, and I think it might be
He
my
is.
grandfather.
He started
was like
in
the biggest fan.
1936 and is credited as the first costume superhero.
There you go.
Wow. Shit.
First gay
Closeted, yeah.
superhero. Yeah.
Man, I remember going through my grandfather's stuff and coming across a whole lot of like Phantom comic books from back then. I wonder if they're worth anything.
Wrestling magazine.
What kind
wonder
of
if he was
parts were circled around?
I couldn't actually open
the
the
pages
comic books.
sticky?
They were all stuck. Yeah, they were stuck
There's a
together.
lot
So
of
I don't know
baby
how.
oil in this attic.
It seems pretty self-explanatory, though, that he was an old school superhero. Because to me, it seems his superpower is owning a gun.
Yeah, that's what
Mostly,
I've noticed
yeah.
as well. All he has is like thick thighs and a gun.
That's all he does.
If I recall, there are no superpowers. It's just that he can live forever, except it's his dad was the superhero before him and his grandfather before that, but there's never a mother involved.
Yeah, there's no. They just spontaneously generate.
yeah, they produce via budding.
Life finds a way in the
Yeah.
Phantom.
Oh man.
But there is superpowers when he combines these jewelry skulls that he has.
Right. We don't have to talk about
Yeah, we don't
this.
have to go on to it, but you know.
So like there's a great part. So Aaron flew out to LA. We recorded if you read the book, there's these QR codes at the end, and it's like it was this last minute idea we had where we're like, okay, we can do like director's commentary for like I guess they're sort of like explain ourselves. Or,
Deposition, really.
Yeah, it's just a long. They're each like half an hour apology videos and audio logs, but we got an Airbnb down in Long Beach, and there's just flies and fleas everywhere, and Aaron's getting eaten alive throughout the whole video. And like, I'm sort of unapologetic. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is just the way it is. And Aaron's just like scratching himself, and like, I feel bad, but rather than me being like, I'm so sorry, and him being angry, I ended up just getting another Airbnb somewhere else. And like, that's our dynamic where, hey, this sucks, let's power through it. It'll be better in the end. And as long as we talk about the Phantom and then go to
I had scabs for weeks.
yeah,
I tell you.
yeah.
Do your
it wasn't
wives
great.
ever get jealous? Like, you never want to do anything with me. It's always Adam.
You mean all of Aaron's wives?
Yeah. Well, no, they do get jealous, and that's why my relationships end. So, yes, you're correct. Well, it's tough when you have, like, a book takes 2.5 years, and the whole time you're saying, like, hey, I'm writing a book. I swear to God, I'm doing something with my life. I swear. And then eventually just no one believes you.
I've had nothing. I like to be serious. That nothing but love and support from family and loved ones. Like, they understand that it's like, hey, this is important, and you guys aren't just jerking each other off like I think you are.
Like I suspect.
I've listened in on your phone calls, and you just talk about the Phantom and how important it is to
They
you.
came over for a writing session and they watched this fucking Phantom movie 3 times in a row.
Well, my grandma yesterday's like, oh, Aaron's coming to the Oktoberfest with his friend and partner.
His special friend.
Jeez, they look at you guys like you look at the Phantom. Like,
They don't know they're gay superheroes.
We're holding hands so our beers don't get cold.
Yeah.
Jeez, Grandma.
And we're eating sausage on a stick and stuff. It's like he's eating 3 sausages on a stick, but it takes him a while because he licks them. He
You got
doesn't
the
eat them.
kielbasa, and it's Adam. You have to chew it. Come on.
I go, what?
You put the sausage in between like your mouth, and then you meet in the
Here,
middle.
Aaron,
like
hold
the
my head
spaghetti.
down on it. That lets me get it faster.
Yeah, oh, you got some mustard stains on your zipper.
There's grease all around your mouth.
Oh, God. When you get home, we're watching The Phantom to make you think about what you've done, young man.
Oh no, not again.
Get my purple costume.
What do you mean get? It's underneath my normal clothes.
It's always on.
Man, I hope more people look up that movie because of this.
That'd be great. The book sales,
I will.
there's like a small spike, but then the Phantom all of a sudden is streamed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how you came on here to like talk about your book, and it's led into like more of an advertisement for some gay 1980 superhero movie.
It's to
Great.
prep everyone for what they're going to find in the book. You know?
What's in the
basically,
book that's like themed around that? Like, give me an example.
Well, he kind of becomes a superhero of sorts. Wait, help me, Adam. No.
No, it has nothing. Honestly, the Phantom talk came about while we were recording the logs, where Aaron is in town for 5 days. And it was like, what movie from the 90s do you want to watch tonight, Adam? And it was like Air Force One,
Scanners.
one of the Death Proofs. No, Death Wish.
Death
sorry.
Wish, yeah.
Sorry. No, we didn't. No, we've been watching Death Wish while we're here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Death Wish?
No, isn't that a pen?
Charles Bronson movie that started in the 70s with like good intention of like old man, spaghetti western actor.
I am familiar with this. Isn't that where he like sits on a park bench with a gun and like looks at people to decide who to shoot or some shit?
Close.
Yeah.
This is it's like a movie. So I think the first one's 71 or 72, and it's in the vein of like Dirty Harry, where it's like these streets are just no good anymore, and there needs to be just one mustached white man to take care of this stuff, and so his wife and kid are killed, and so he decides to become a vigilante. It's a great first movie. It's like a real psychological thing, but then producers were like, you know what people love to see? It must be him just killing people. So by the second and third movie, he's killing people with rocket launchers and Browning machine guns and like shooting gang members in the back.
Like elephant
Is it
guns.
just
Yeah.
is it just indiscriminate at that point? Is he just gone insane and started killing randoms?
He's like, do they have a do-rag and is their skin color? Do they have like, tribal markings on them for some reason?
And there's a lot of entrapment in the Death Wish movies. Like,
So Jackson, there's a part towards the end of Rook. It's not a spoiler, but there's a part where, Noel is like in a town, and there's an old man who's like, there's this gang that's been, roughing us up. And he takes care of it pretty quick. Like, I don't know if you're, that was Aaron. Aaron based that on Death Wish.
Death Wish 3.
There's a scene where Charles Bronson goes like, he's making bullets because the gun he has, I guess they don't sell them.
Yeah, it's like an elephant handgun. It's what it is.
In his line, he goes, "Nothing's too good for our friends."
Yeah.
And he's making these bullets. So he goes out and he's just walking down the streets of Brooklyn or whatever with a Nikon camera. He's swinging it around because he's trying to lure out this guy called the Giggler.
Yeah.
And
Cool name.
he's always too fast. He keeps stealing purses, and he's like, he laughs while he does it. And they're like, he's too fast. I don't know. I mean, like high school runner. Maybe.
Yeah, they're all basically the whole gang's high school kids from like alternative high school, like troublemaker high school. So
yeah, and there is like a mental institution that shut down.
Yeah.
And these are mostly who the gang members are. Like they are like in need of social help more than anything, but they're just gunning them down instead. So Charles Bronson walking around with his Nikon camera. Giggler goes, "Oh, I can't help myself." Runs, grabs the camera. Charles Bronson pulls out the biggest elephant handgun you've ever seen.
still holding his ice cream he was eating.
Yeah. It just one shots this dude through the chest, and then everyone in the neighborhood sticks their heads out the windows and starts clapping and cheering for him.
This guy who had his back just exploded by a handgun.
And then it cuts to the gang members during the day, a slow zoom out camera, and they're like, they killed the Giggler.
Didn't have a right to do that.
I mean, and they're right.
Yeah, they're absolutely. The gang members are talking like legally. They're like, he shot him in the back. It was a camera. It was entrapment. They're like, he didn't have a right to do that. And then the cops are like, open and shut. You know?
That's one
Sounds
less
like a good
Giggler for the
movie.
books. Yeah. So that was more of the inspiration. for the book than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, even though he's dead, his crypto investments will live on if he did it through Kraken.
These guys are pros.
Right, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, for
Andrews,
the last 10 years, Kraken has been one of the best platforms for trading crypto online, and the official boys have been using it for almost as long as that. I started Kraken. Good Lord, how long ago did I hop on there? Probably like 8 years ago, long time ago. And now, with the new Kraken app, it's easier than ever to buy and sell over 60 of the most popular cryptocurrencies on the go 24/7. Simply download the Kraken app, connect your bank account, and start investing for as little as $10. Just a few taps is all it takes to get started. With the Kraken app, you'll have your portfolio in your pocket wherever you go. Monitor your investments, track winners and losers, keep tabs on your favorite projects, or view the most traded cryptos of the day. It's got all the features you need with none of the complexity, and it's a simpler way to invest in crypto. Visit kraken.com/official now to learn more, or search Kraken in the App Store. I've been on the Kraken train for a very long time, so if you have any questions, well, you can ask me. I'm busy, but maybe I'll make some time for Kraken. Who knows? Or you could just visit kraken.com/official. Super easy to install. Play with it yourself. Start investing for as little as $10. Kraken.com/official.
Thank you.
So far, the podcast has just
what
made
else
me
we
want to
got.
watch old 90s movies.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to call them
Yeah.
old?
Yeah.
Just call them movies.
Why are you describing around?
So what other movies did you guys blatantly rip off for your book?
Oh man.
Well, okay. Full disclosure, I'll be honest. I was not happy with Ready Player One.
Go on, Adam.
I don't think anyone was.
I read the book. I listened to the audiobook. I saw the movie. You guys all saw the movie, right?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was mediocre at best. It was
Very
mainly just
middling.
Look at Tracer's ass or whatever for a second.
So
just to
it's a
fucking
movie. It's a
was the
movie
best part.
designed to celebrate crossovers and franchises, and it does that for the first half, and then the entire second half is, do you like The Shining? No. Well,
Here's
go
The
fuck your
Shining.
no. Go fuck yourself. Here's The
That
Shining.
is, that's not my problem. Like, I honestly, I have nothing but respect for anyone who's able to, one, write a book and then put it out. I mean, the dude's super successful and good, awesome they did it. But the part in the movie when they go, we can't figure out this puzzle, and then he drives backwards and doesn't, like, they would have done that the first day.
Yep.
Like,
First race would have had someone doing that. Absolutely.
Just by
Yeah.
accident, just by purely by accident, like they pressed the wrong button.
And not even
Yeah.
just by people wanting to fuck around and try to, like, imagine you're in the game and you're in front of the other racers. You're going to immediately hit reverse to try to crash into them.
Absolutely. That's NASCAR Heat 2002 shit.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's like the whole concept never made sense to me. Like, they are Easter eggs, and it's like, solved, did it. They did it. It's done. No, this would not take long. You can't have that. So I
A
wanted.
speedrunner would have
and
solved that
even-
fucking thing in like 2 minutes.
And even then, they would fucking find workarounds. Do you guys remember the Binding of Isaac puzzle that was solved in like a day and a half, and it was supposed to take a month?
No, I don't know that one.
So the Binding of
don't know
Isaac
what the fuck
is
you're talking about.
it's a big, very popular top-down shooter on the internet, and the guy was updating it with a giant new free DLC. And they added a new character, and he was like, oh, here's how you get it. You got to play the game like 100 times with these different items and these different characters, and you'll get pieces to a literal puzzle that you have to put together in like Photoshop, and that'll give you like a cipher, and you'll use that to like look up actual physical location, this and that. Players just data mined the game and found out the answer in a day and a half.
The exact thing happened 20 years ago with a game called Advent Rising, which was like an
Yes.
Orson Scott. Yeah, they're like, Majesco or whatever the company was like, look, no one's going to buy this fucking game. It's written by a homophobic, Utah-based Mormon writer, Orson Scott Card. You know, it's like, it's about aliens of the future where, you know, gays are to blame. And it's just like, but they're like, no one's going to buy it. So
Sounds
we need
like
to
the
have $1 million.
It sounds like the
Very
opposite
much
of the Phantom.
inspired. Actually, yeah, Fandom is the better
It
version
all
of Orson
comes
Scott
back to
Card.
the Phantom with you two, doesn't it?
But they were like, there's $1 million in the game. You couldn't have found it. You know, someone ripped open their Xbox, plugged it into a computer, goes, I found the code. And they're like, the contest is over. You know, it's like, you can't do that shit. So yeah, like Ready Player One always kind of just irked me because you have to just pretend like video game culture doesn't exist for a movie or a book like that to work. So what the intention with Rook was always like, it shouldn't be a video game. It should be games as a service. It should be, this is a world you're stuck in and you can't get out. It's not so much that like people are going to try to hack it. They're going to do it, but the system is going to take advantage of that. They're always going to be a step ahead of you. And it's just, I know you said dystopia, but like that to me is what the dystopia is. It's a really cool future where we're really comfortable and can do all this other stuff, but the world around us is crumbling and we're all just kind of okay with it. So there are no good or bad guys essentially in Rook. That's what we're trying to do. It's all just a big gray mess. And that was the thing that I didn't think Ready Player One was just way too binary. Like these are the bad guys. They want to own the Oasis. I'm like, this makes no sense. Do you know how corporate ownership works? Like you can't do that. You can't just win VR. There wouldn't be one VR. There'd be many different VRs. Yeah.
And the owner of it all is this like jolly nice guy, basically a skinny Santa, like super nice guy.
Ready Player One. Sorry, Kai, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's just Ready Player One felt like they wanted to rewrite Willy Wonka, but didn't at all understand the concept of like internet and video gaming.
No.
You brought up Advent Rising.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Advent Rising is all I'm thinking about before we get too far off. That contest was so wild. I used to love that game. I didn't know it was written by a homophobe. I know.
What was it?
It was a game about humans in the future, like they're in space, and then
but what genre? What do you do?
it was kind of like a third-person shooter.
Third-person shooter. Yeah.
With
Is that the
acrobats.
one where you can
Acrobatics.
change the story at any time and like every single character is killable and you can?
No.
Which
No,
one am
you're
I
good.
thinking?
I have no idea. It sounds like a
Is it the one with a guy and a girl in a bedroom?
yeah. That happens. That
That's
happens.
like
in the
90% of video games. Come on.
No, but he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Well,
so
yeah, because
it clearly is.
it's very powerful. In the beginning of the game, you have like your wife, and she like punches you in the stomach. She's like, "Oh,
Yes.
Gideon, you naughty dog!" And then the aliens come in, and then you can choose between saving your brother or your wife. And anyway, Donald Mustard worked on that game of Fortnite fame, and they ran that $1 million contest. But since the contest was like solved, they bankrupted themselves with it. So the whole company had to close down. It was supposed to be part of a trilogy, but because of that contest, they had to shut the entire fucking studio down. It was crazy.
But they actually paid the money out?
No, they didn't. They never paid it out because they couldn't afford to. They just assumed that no one would
cheaper
win.
to claim bankruptcy.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But that guy ended up going on to make Fortnite, and he made another game, Shadow Complex.
Yep.
Which was also written by Orson Scott Card. Big inspiration for Rook.
God, Advent Rising had such a good soundtrack too. Nothing but bangers on that game. Fuck.
It was that dude, the guy, I forget his name, Stephen Tatil. No, that's the author. I forget. He's the guy who did like the Earthworm Jim soundtrack, but he somehow has $1 billion. Like, why do you have Lamborghinis? I don't understand it. Anyway, games are weird.
I love games.
Cool.
You were talking about Echo earlier, weren't you?
Echo the Dolphin? No.
The
wow.
dolphin, fuck yeah.
Oh, then I don't know what you were
What the
talking
fuck?
about.
I was going to say Adam from Your Movie Sucks did a really good review on Ready Player One where he's like, there's kids running down the street as Halo Master Chiefs, and then some people are standing still. Like, what are the rules of this world? I don't understand how VR works.
Did I tell you my night that I hung out with Ernie Klein when he got dumped at the offices?
They haven't told them.
Well, we'll talk about it later. This is So Ernie Klein, I was working at this production studio, and so anyway, he gets dumped off there by his people. I don't know why. He was on a book tour, I think, and they were in the middle of making. Steven Spielberg was doing pre-production on Ready Player One, and he's getting texts from him. But they dump him into our writers' room, thinking that there was a big writers' room that day, but it was just me and my buddy Chris. And so Ernie Klein sits in there, and he's like, "So this is the writers' room." We're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Cool. So what are y'all doing tonight?" And we're like, "I was gonna go home." And Chris, my buddy Chris, is like, "Yeah, I mean, I have to do laundry and that kind of stuff." He's like, "All right, cool. Well, what do you do around here?" And I was like, "Well, it's Tuesday night, and we're not really gonna do anything." He's like, "You want to see the DeLorean?" And we're like, "Yeah, I guess." So we go out in the parking lot. It's nighttime by this point. It's like 8 o'clock at night. The DeLorean, the lights don't work on the inside. And he's like, "You want to sit in it?" And we're like, "Yeah, I guess." And so we're sitting in this DeLorean in the dark. And he's like,
Were you
"Yeah."
abducted by Ernie Klein? Is this where this is going?
Yeah, well, he was just, it was the most awkward thing because we would try and ask him things or he'd try and ask us stuff, but none of us had anything to say to each other, and he was not getting picked up by anyone, and he had nowhere to be.
He had a DeLorean.
And he's just sitting there
I don't think it worked.
with a dead DeLorean in the parking lot. And then, you know, eventually me and my buddy Chris were like, well, we're going to go back in the writer's room. He's like, okay. And he just follows us as we go back to the writer's room because we thought that he would be like, oh, yeah, well, you know, I got to get back to my hotel. I don't even know if he had a hotel. I think he may have just been staying in the DeLorean. But it was the most awkward night. And to break up the conversation, every now and then he'd go, oh, yeah, it's a text from Steven. And for the first time that he did it, we didn't know who Steven was, but it was Steven Spielberg. And it was just random pictures from Steven Spielberg of the book, you know, at certain points. And it would say, needs to be in script. And he'd be like, I get these texts all the time. And we're like, no, that's great, but do you have someplace to be?
Impressing two nobodies.
Yeah. It was a guy impressing two nobodies who weren't impressed by anything, and it was one of the most awkward nights I've ever had. I mean, he's a nice guy, but it was really funny that he had this book going with all this stuff, and I was like, you exist purely in this book, don't you?
Yeah.
But
You want to see the DeLorean again?
it was so sad, and it smelled like BO in there, and there was no lights that worked. And I was just like, this is not what I want to remember. This is not the nostalgia for Back to the Future that I want. Anyways, great guy.
Yeah.
It's a strong review.
It's not a review.
Yeah. I'll tell you my review of Ernie Klein.
Poor guy.
Does he go by Ernest?
I think he's Ernest.
Okay.
Poor guy, nothing. He's not poor. I know that.
He's doing fine.
He's poor in friendship. That's probably the saddest thing.
Yeah, sounds
Poor
like
in
it.
spirit.
He picked up some other loser dudes in his DeLorean, and they were impressed. They couldn't fit in it because there's only one other seat. But
Why was he dumped there at your parking lot at your
Well,
writer's room?
It's something about the
DeLorean
owners of
probably
the
broke down on the way.
well, the owners of the studio, they were, you know, they were big fans of him or whatever, but of course they weren't there, you know, when he wanted to do a tour of the studio. It's the Rooster Teeth Studios, you know, whatever.
Spoiler.
Yeah, the RT Studios, and he wanted to do a tour of them, but the people who invited him, of course, weren't there. So we were tasked, me and my buddy Chris, to show him around, but we didn't. I mean, we just showed him dark studios, and he showed us a dark DeLorean, and he kept going on about like I guess the fuel pump in the DeLorean kept breaking down. So he's like, yeah, I don't know, the gas gauge says it's full, but then it'll be out of gas. And we're like, man, that sucks. We get that fixed. He's like, yeah, there's all these electronics in it now that it's really hard to like source the problem because it's just filled with junk, like just fucking bullshit wiring and miles of it, and you can't figure out how to
because he
fix
wanted
it.
it to look like from Ready Player One, right? Where it's like an amalgamation of 3 different cars
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, it's like it's Ecto 1 and Kit and the van from Ninja
Well,
Turtles.
no, this was just the straight DeLorean copy that he made.
Okay.
So, but if you've ever seen that thing, it's if you look at it up close, it's cool, but it's also just full of fucking shit. It's full of like refrigerator parts and wiring
Old
and
sweaters.
like, and old 7-Eleven cups. I don't know why, you know. And maybe that wasn't original.
Scratch and
but-
sniff things from In Living Color.
Yeah,
because
lottery
he's in it.
tickets everywhere.
3D glasses.
Because he's living out of it.
Yeah,
He's not. I know he's not.
Yeah, you be the voice of reason in this. I'll be the one that. Yeah.
We're gonna ask him to do our audiobook and see what he says.
He does the forward, and it's just him talking about the lawsuit he's bringing
Yeah.
on.
He goes, I remember this guy. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
He made fun of my cool car.
They weren't impressed.
Just to be clear, he's a very nice guy. We just had a very awkward first date, and that's all I
Now,
want to say.
no, Aaron, do you think the awkwardness was brought on by you guys or by him?
Oh, it was definitely them. He
Be
sounds
honest.
awesome. He sounds
Yeah,
super cool.
yeah.
He's got a
He-
whole
he
fucking
showed you he's
DeLorean. What do
DeLorean.
these guys have? A book? Who cares?
Well,
Not
at the
at
time,
that
we didn't
time,
even have anything.
Oh, my
Chris
God.
and I had nothing, and I still mostly have nothing.
You have that phantom costume that you could wear. Yeah. A conversation would have been better if you'd like just dimmed the lights, put on the Phantom costume, started blowing him immediately, and then like just reciting passages from the book.
What if I said to him like, "Hey, you like the Phantom?" He's like, "Do you like the Phantom?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of like the Phantom." And just in a DeLorean.
It's a better scene from Titanic with your face up against the DeLorean window that won't roll down because it's broken.
And it's not even condensation. It's just dust that my hands go down the windshield.
You paint a lovely photo.
I know, I do.
How long has it been? Let's see.
Too long.
Well, we can wrap soon. Up to you guys. Oh, hang on. Before we do the Aaron, Adam, have you guys been keeping up with the Rust story? Because we have an update. The movie set shooting.
No, I mean, yes, but I'd rather hear it from you guys because it's sad.
Well, as you know, Alec Baldwin shot somebody. The Rust armorer, you guys, has now come out, well, her lawyer has, with a statement. Weapons boss suggests Alec Baldwin's shooting was sabotage. So we did it. This is what I wanted. It's now an actual murder mystery, officially.
Sabotage.
Well, what was it? What was the basis?
So, a lawyer for Hannah Gutierrez-Reed said someone with, quote, bad intentions, unquote, placed live bullets in with dummy rounds on the set of Rust.
Yeah, but lawyers aren't required to tell the truth, right? They're just
required
to defend.
They have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Part of the job.
But it has to be, even if you're bullshitting, it has to be something that's, like, plausibly will fly in court to even stand a chance.
Yeah, but it's not so, isn't the onus on, like, prosecution to prove that it didn't happen then? Or it did happen, I mean, that way?
Well, you can't make frivolous
I think
claims
so.
because you can get in trouble for that as a lawyer. You can be disbarred if you just are making stuff up. So,
Are you
maybe
making
there
that
was. Up? Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have to. I don't have
Rules
to
don't apply to you. Yeah.
No, but I mean, if they say a word like sabotage is pretty strong, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It is a very strong word, so...
Yeah,
This is the lawyer, I think.
They're saying it's like an unhappy craft services guy or something, right? Like
Yeah, they did.
Well, there's a lot of like set unrest, right? Like everyone on set was unhappy, so it could have been anyone.
Yeah, both. So her lawyer suggested one of the crew members may have been motivated because they were disgruntled over their working conditions, including working 12 to 14 hours a day. Yeah, so basically they're alleging sabotage. By the way, there were apparently, like, the Alec Baldwin and his gang were making fun of the crew because the crew asked for hotels closer to the shoot so they wouldn't have to drive like 2 hours back and forth to the set every single day. So apparently they printed out shirts saying LOL hotels not found or something like that, just mocking the crew. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
That's an epic
There
show.
are no good guys in this story.
I like the phrase Alec Baldwin and his gang.
Yeah. His best friend,
the higher ups, I guess.
It's like a West Side Story with Alec, but he's just like snapping.
Yeah.
Well, they were shooting in the
honestly wouldn't be
desert.
surprised. Yeah, they were shooting also using the gun off the shoot. It went off multiple times before that. They told Alec. Alec basically went, whatever, fuck you, I'm going to hire scabs. Go fuck yourselves. So yeah, all in all, interesting. I love this. This was my wish the first day I heard this story. Let it be a murder mystery. And
For
now
a
we
good
got
mystery.
Oh, you want like Daniel Craig to show up? I'm sure you guys made that joke already. Like, if you've been talking about this long enough, the Kentucky Fried Lawyer comes in like, what we got here is a whodunit.
I hear there's bullets around these parts.
Alec Baldwin's just peeing on someone and being like, get out of here.
Yeah.
He's yelling just horrible racial things.
I want to see the movie set where the guns are just accessible to everyone. I've never seen that. I've been on movie sets with guns and in the desert, weirdly enough. So I understand the hotels thing because it's way cheaper to have the crew just like suffer for an hour-long drive and put them in the like budget inn, full of bed bugs. But anyway, on the set, you've got to have the guns locked down, and like what kind of set where they're just on a cart and you're like some craft services person comes around with bullets. It's like, let me just fill this little puppy up.
It also needs to be the right caliber because you can't just put a bullet in a 6.
Well, it also needs to be they were antique guns. They were guns from the 1800s, so he had to have old bullets like Colt 45,
Nothing's
whatever.
so good for our little friends.
He's loading his elephant bullets. Like, the giggler's going to get shot today.
God damn it. We connected Death Wish to Rust.
If we can just get the Phantom in there.
If it's sabotage, if it's genuinely sabotage, they should be looking for the one guy that was like hiding behind stuff during that shoot. Like,
Yeah, looking around suspiciously,
With the mustache.
whistling nonchalantly when the gun went off.
There's a man with a top hat in this shot. We wonder if he's holding a boom mic.
With like those fake glasses with the big nose and mustache.
Yeah. Were there any photos before the incident of someone maybe rubbing their hands together maniacally?
Twirling their mustache in the back. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh,
now
geez,
this-
she died, did she? Oh no, someone called 911. Too bad the drive is 2 hours.
I just can't wait for the movie they're going to make about this, like the dramatization. And I want Alec Baldwin to try out for the part of Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was
someone
like,
again.
no, I was seriously thinking. What I know this is fucking stupid and probably didn't happen, but like it's Hollywood, so who really knows? What if this was all planned because they knew the movie was going to bomb and they thought like making a documentary out of the tragedy would be like a better seller?
What if the director's death was
actually-
faked?
Well, interestingly
all of
enough,
this.
Jackson, you're kind of 1 for 1 on these goofy conspiracies. The Travis Scott concert last night, there are reports that one of the security guards was injected with something that caused him to pass out. And you suggested
What?
You suggested yesterday that it might have been like a fentanyl bandit going around injecting people.
Well, no, that's
or
what I
something.
said.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there were
you guys said
claims
that.
that
was
someone was
reported.
walking around the concert injecting people with drugs.
Yeah, it turns out that actually was the case, allegedly, according to
Oh.
like one report.
Most concerts I've been to, there is someone walking around injecting you with drugs. I don't know how crazy
He's hard to find.
Yeah. In fact, you're looking for him most of the time.
We call him the Candy Man. He makes the pain go away.
Jeez.
What's in it for those people that go around just randomly spiking drinks and injecting? Well,
Fun.
apart from the date rape shit, but like when you're
Days
just
off of the
randomly
Rust
injecting.
set.
Yeah. I mean, they're dressed like the Joker for a reason. You know, they're just like, I'm chaos incarnate. Yeah. All right, Edgelord. Good job. He just blew $1,200 of his own stash.
Yeah, just for a joke.
Just to sow chaos. The end of the world. Lame supervillain.
Yeah, and apparently kill 8 people. Anyway, we talked about that on the bonus yesterday, in case anybody wants to check it out.
So,
10-year-old died.
just-
I didn't
just
know
a
this.
shitty
It's so fucked
situation.
up.
Yeah, it is an
11 people now.
extremely fucked up situation.
The Astroland. Yeah.
So who do you think, if this really is like a murder thing on the Rust set, who do you think is the most likely culprit, Kaya?
I don't know. It has to be just some random maybe camera operator or something
think-
who he saw Alec Baldwin and his guys just show up on set one day, basically wearing shirts that said "fuck you," and he, I guess, flipped. I don't know. Snapped.
It's probably the lawyer who put the suggestion forward. He wanted credit, so he's trying to like throw it out
Oh,
there.
like
in
the
wind.
Zodiac killer, he wants to be found,
Yeah.
kinda. Okay, yeah.
Ooh, it's titillating to him.
I think it's the assistant director. He was the last one. He just came out of nowhere with this gun that he said was cold, and then it wasn't. I think it's the assistant director.
That's so obvious, though. That's far
Yeah,
too
but
obvious.
it's not like a game of Clue.
It has to be
he-
someone. No, it has to be someone who like reasonably wouldn't be the one interacting with the gun at all ever.
No, I think it.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
too
the assistant
obvious.
director.
I think it's the editor. I think the editor didn't want the extra work
Right.
and
It's
showed up
like
on
this movie
set.
looks
Just,
shit.
yeah, just
I
for
don't wanna work on
a
it.
set visit with a gun.
I think it was the fluffer, personally. Alec Baldwin's fluffer.
I think it was Alec Baldwin because he shot the people. So we saw him do it.
That's true. There's even
As far
video
as it
evidence
runs,
of it,
Andrew.
Yeah.
I assume.
It's like the worst
Yeah, in
remake of the
4K.
producers ever.
God,
It's like it's all for the insurance.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks's version was better, I think.
this is sad.
Yeah.
That one had Nazis in it.
This one just has Alec Baldwin.
What's the difference?
If I was a lawyer, I'd just say,
Coming
roll
to
back the
Netflix,
footage,
this
Your
one.
Honor. We caught him down bad in 4K, literally. He's right there shooting.
Yeah.
There's got to be footage of it, right?
Well, yeah.
Because if they
Oh,
were
I want to see the
using-
blooper reel. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're using the round and they're shooting,
Can you imagine if the movie comes out finished and everything, and then during the credits they play the blooper reel and it just shows Alec Baldwin shooting somebody
Crying.
in the middle
In a
of like
parking
someone
lot, yeah.
laughing during a flood line?
Yeah. Court documents. Just Jesus.
Have they said if the movie is coming out or is it completely
It's
canceled?
canceled.
No.
They canceled it. Yeah.
I don't think that movie would ever come
Was
out.
it insured? That's the question.
Yeah, I'd love to see the
that is a
producers
good
being
question.
like, "We're gonna have to set the release date back at least 2 weeks."
Just no humanity.
But
in it.
unrelated,
No.
Alec Baldwin's new movie Dust is coming out next year. It's a cowboy western thriller.
Right. Most of it's shot already somehow.
Yeah,
They use,
somehow.
they use slingshots on set.
Most of it's
There's a lot
shot
of high
already,
stock
just like the
photo
director.
It's probably. Oh, dude.
Jesus.
It's probably for the best, though. Not that, but it's probably for the best that it's cancelled. Like, because could you imagine it coming out next year and they put one of those cheesy, like, dedicated to the director or whoever was killed at the end? Like,
The
that's
DP,
that's your legacy. Would fucking suck.
Yeah.
That would fucking suck. But also, if I was rich, if I was like a billionaire, I would hire Bob Odenkirk and literally put him through law school just so I could have Saul Goodman represent this woman and just have an awesome court case on national TV.
You act like he doesn't have a choice in the matter. Yeah.
Well,
I
is he
have
going
money,
to
you
turn
do
down
think?
millions of dollars? How can I tell him you have to stay
He's
in
like
character?
72.
Oh, he's trying to get back from heart surgery, and they're like, "No, you're going to become a lawyer now, Bob." He's like, "What?
How much money does he have? Okay.
Gotta pass the bar exam, bitch.
Yeah. People
It's a
are just
whole
your
4-year long
puppets.
ordeal.
Yeah. I'd also like the Olsen twins to feed me grapes. What else do you want in this fantasy of yours?
Yeah, you guys are the gods. You know, whatever you want."
Yeah. These are just your meat puppets to string along.
Also shoot each other. Shoot one more person. All right, let's wrap.
All right. Do you guys have any last minute things that you want to shout out? Maybe a link to your brand new book so that people know where to find it?
Yeah.
I mean, anything you want to, you can just Google it, Rook book.
Go to rook.cool.
The website
Go
is
to
rook.cool.
phantomfans.blogspot.com.
That's our next website adventure. Not, and yeah.
The funny thing, rook.cool is just about as bad as that website you just said. Like, we got a .cool like extension, which was the last one we could get before .cc.expedia.
Cease and desist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Rook.book would have been sweet, but it didn't happen because they rhyme. But yeah, no, check out the book if you can. We have it in digital paperback. It's a labor of love. And then also, just a reminder, 10% of all book sales go to charity. Go to shatterproof.org for the rest of all time. Anything you buy on the website, that's posters, t-shirts, any of that stuff. We're sending all that stuff to charity.
It's addiction nonprofit. They're really good. So.
Mental health awareness and addiction. It's honestly, it's like the best charity we could have picked. It sings to us.
Newman's Own wouldn't take our calls, so we got here. Yeah.
Sally Struthers hung up on us twice.
So
The book is recommended by the official podcast as well. Well, at least Kara and
I have
myself,
it.
we both enjoy it. It's
It's
a
only
great
banned
book.
in a few countries, so get it while you can.
though the Taliban really likes it, they've been sending messages.
They want to teach it in
Yeah,
middle school and grade school.
just as long as they enjoy it, it's fine.
Yeah, we found an audience. But thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
and
thank you all so much for having us on.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
thank you for joining
coming
us.
on.
Thanks for coming. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about cults. Damn. I really wanted to talk
Oh man,
about
I had
cults.
a
Maybe
great,
next time.
I had a great cult story.
Right
too.
before we started recording, Aaron's like, "So what are we talking about?" I said, "They like cults." I was eating a donut.
Talk about cults once. That's great. So we'll talk about cults next time, maybe. Thank you for joining us. If you want to support us, you can head on over to patreon.com/theofficialpodcast. Bonus content over there. Like Kaya said, we will be releasing an episode where we talked about that tragic, what was it, Astro World? That's the name of the festival?
Yeah, that was the name of it.
I think so.
Yeah, we talked about that over there, so you can find out what our thoughts are about that over at patreon.com/theofficialpodcast. Thank you to my co-host for joining us, and thanks for the guests for joining us as well. Really appreciated having you on and spending some time with us. It was great hearing from you both. We wish you all the best in whatever you do next. That's everything.
Adapting the Phantom.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.